Hey guys, and welcome to another Factorio Friday Facts discussion number 246, the GUI update, part 3, and I'm joined, as always, by Scarhoof.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Looking for the weekend.
Oh yeah. So, this is written by 3 different people. It looks pretty long, but there's actually not much to it. There's a lot of pictures, which is great.
We like our pictures.
We really do. It makes it look nice. It's easy.
It's like we're back in kindergarten. I don't want to read books. I want to watch pictures.
Yeah, exactly. So, I start off with, okay, cancel versus cancel okay. And this is for like where things are arranged in the GUI. So a really strange debate started as a continuation, Friday Facts 238. I insisted that the button order should obviously always be okay, cancel, as in any GUI I see around. So you can see here, like yes, no, okay, cancel. But little I knew, and I didn't know this either, this is actually specific to Windows. And on Linux and Mac, the order is actually reversed.
Right. And as someone who spends his entire day on both operating systems, because I use Macs for home and I'm a Windows system admin, I personally prefer the Mac. It just makes more sense. Of course, I'm also right-handed, so usually getting the mouse to the bottom right-hand corner of a window is usually easier.
Right.
It's just personal preference, though, because I use both. But I've also got I've used both for so long that the muscle memory's there to just know which operating system I'm on. But it is kind of funny that you had no idea that Linux or Mac reversed it.
Yeah, I mean, if you've never used, really, you wouldn't. I had no clue either. But so eventually, we figured out that we're not the first one trying to solve the problem. The solution we are now experimenting with sounds like a bad idea. The solution we are now experimenting, it sounds like a bad idea. Make it so much different and Factorio specific that the way it is done in your specific system will not interfere with your muscle memory. Which bring me
that is hilarious.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it does.
Once you're in the game, your brain kind of switches into Factorio mode rather than operating system mode, so it makes sense.
Right, exactly. And then it's not like, and then like they said, regardless of what operating system you're on, it's not going to confuse you. So which brings me to load game dialog mockup. So the load game dialog is currently the first dialog we are trying to implement with the new tile set, and the mockup Albert created recently. The mockup looks like this. So we have load here on the right, we have back on the left, and then, this is the general look of it. I think it looks really nice. You can get your map exchange string, you can sync mods with save, delete the save, and pretty much the same options, but this is kind of like where the buttons are now. And then scrolling down, the idea is that all the dialogues will have this flow from left to right. On the very left, you go back. On the very right, you continue to the next window. The same logic would be consistent in all the dialog windows. Options, for example, have only the back button in 0.16, so we have back and reset. It's currently quite weird, as it's not clear whether it is confirm or cancel. Actually, if you press escape, you exit the options without saving it, but if you press back, you confirm the changes. Which, I agree, is quite confusing. Obviously, with only the 2 options, obviously back is going to save it rather than resetting, but
you have to think for half a second, right?
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Just having a button that actually says save or confirm is just way clearer. So these will also have cancel on the left and confirm on the right. Escape is the same as clicking back. So yeah, back and like when you actually hit your escape key in 0.17, then would act the same, and then there's actually a confirm button, and then reset still.
I like this so much easier.
Oh yeah.
And it's in the bottom right-hand corner, which everybody knows is the proper corner for it to be in. Throw shade.
Yeah, here we go again. So please note that all the pictures are work in progress. The map generation GUI. Hopefully you're not getting tired of hearing about the GUI, because this game sure has a lot of them. And the next one to talk about is map generator GUI. Since we will have high resolution sprite sheets for the GUI, all the mockups below are done on 200% UI scale, so they are scaled down on this page. You can click each image to see it in full size. You will notice things were moved around quite a bit. The scene, the replay toggle were moved to the top since they are not part of the preset. And then the preset drop down.
I kind of like that idea of putting it up at the top. That's nice.
Yeah, it is. It kind of separates it nicely. For sure. And I like that the seed, it kind of just displays it there really nicely. So
And is that like a reset seed button? I'm guessing.
that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's kind of what it looks like. Or like, yeah, that's got to be it. So then the preset drop down, which I'm gonna add a full screen here. So the preset for like your different preset things here, the rail world, death world, so on and so forth. The reset, the default button, and description, which are visible all times, so you know what you're editing. Everything inside the tabs is part of the preset. So then like you can see here, rail world. If you just leave it at that, everything within these tabs is what the Railworld preset looks like. Pretty much is what it would give you. And then, so this, I really like this. These, you'll notice, obviously, there's now sliders rather than drop-down boxes.
Yep. Yeah, I like these. The sliders are very, very faceted to tell you what the indication is, right? Like if it's all the way orange, it's 100%.
Right, exactly. And then we go down here, more to the map generator terrain. You can see here, water, grass, so on and so forth. Pollution is kind of a separate little box, which is nice. A new tab is the enemies tab. The generation settings, frequency, size, richness are moved from being hidden in the terrain settings to its own category.
Nice.
Also, the important peaceful mode is right at the top, which is really nice. That's
and I gotta say, the little just the shading on the orange buttons, like next to peaceful mode, that's really nice. I like the look of that.
Oh yeah, it looks so much cleaner and such.
And industrial too.
Oh,
like they could have gone with a ton of different genres or feels, and this has a very industrial feel. Like orange and gray is very industrial, so I like it.
Yep, completely agree. Finally, the Advanced tab contains the rest of the settings. Map width and height will now also be part of the preset. So yeah, you can go here, set your map width and height, recipes, and technology difficulties and such.
Interesting. Are they going to put a limit to the preset for width and height, or are they going, or is it being blank as part of the preset?
I think being blank, I'm a little confused on that too.
I'm trying to think, like, are there any presets with a predetermined height and width?
No, there's not. So,
but I guess what this would do would give us the option of maybe creating our own presets or something like that you could import in.
Yeah, that's like what I'm thinking. Or maybe like if someone somehow does something with a mod, maybe that like you said, does other presets that comes with limited map height and width.
It just makes me think, going back to their tutorial thing a couple weeks ago, and then also thinking about there's this mod pack thing, or this map pack that you can get on Minecraft, where they had the border size, and every single time you complete an achievement, the border size would increase, right, by like half a block. And so as you completed more achievements, the world size would get larger and larger. And I'm thinking you could maybe do something like that in Factorio, where you started off extremely small, right? Because they're going to do that, right? They have that pre-generated map, and then each map is going to kind of like open up as the tutorial keeps going through different modules. I wonder if somebody could make a map that every time you complete something, or every time you do a research, your map gets a little bit bigger. So now all of a sudden you can get to that iron patch, or you can get to that copper patch and stuff like that.
That would be really cool.
You have to get so many researches until you can finally get to that, that oil that's just outside of the range or something like that. That would be kind of cool.
That would be really awesome. Yeah, definitely. So then the map exchange string can help you save all your settings in a string, but more importantly, to share it with others. Clicking one of the buttons opens an in-window pop-up. The pop-up can be closed just by going outside. Players can use the copy to clipboard button, but can also copy directly from the text box, as you can see here.
Oh. And I like how it opens up inside of the window. That's a nice little thing.
Yeah, definitely. Now for the neat part. The map preview will be part of the map generator window. Clicking the preview button expands the window, possibly with some quick animation. You can then change the settings as you like, then click update to see the new map. You can have the map update automatically as you change the settings by enabling the option real-time update. But it's off by default since the preview generator can be a bit slow, and having the preview constantly flickering as you change the world would be pretty annoying.
That is just really cool.
Yeah, this is super neat.
Yeah. So you can adjust stuff. You can see it on the fly. The fact that it's all in one window is really slick. Yep, they did a good job with this. I like it.
Notice that the preview button has a warning icon next to it in the image above. I don't really see that, but
yeah. The preview at the bottom of the picture above, the one that's like looping, has a little exclamation point thing.
Oh, right. Yeah, I see in it. Okay.
Yeah, it's just not orange. Normally that would be orange or something like that to warn you, but
okay. Hovering over it will give you a warning that preview can spoil the exploration part of the game and should be used to understand the settings. My hope is that the majority of players will open the preview, play with the settings, then close the preview and reroll seed before pressing play. Now, something to touch on is I was reading in the Reddit post where they post this, and there were comments, and one comment by Bilka, who is the wiki admin who we've had on here before, brought up a very good point, which I completely agree with, is that the problem is with the hope of like people doing it this way, like what's in this last paragraph they said here, is that I think we need a lot better map generation for that to actually be usable, because as Vilka mentioned, and I think most of us have experienced, that even if you have the exact same settings, when you generate a new map, especially in 0.16, you are not guaranteed to get all the resources you need in your starting area.
Yep.
So this could like really screw you over if you like get your settings right and you're like, oh, okay, well this would be cool, but I've already seen the map, let's re-roll. And if you re-roll and don't preview it, you could load into a map where you have 0 oil or you have like no stone or something.
And this is very similar to Minecraft seeds. I get that some people want a fresh experience, right? You want to you'll do what they're saying here because you want to discover everything as you play the game, and I get that. I don't think most people, at least the people I hang out with, I guess, power people, I guess, they want to know what they're getting into, and it's not like you're going to remember exactly where that iron patch is. You might vaguely 10 hours later remember, oh, I think there was an iron patch kind of down towards the right or something like that. But for the most part, you're still going to have to do a lot of exploring unless you've taken pictures and you know exactly where everything is. So, and maybe that's just my failing memory. I barely remember what I generated, but you look at these for specific reasons. Whenever I play a map, I want to pull these up. I would never play something for like a YouTube series without finding a specific seed that has all the things I need to be able to complete the game in the way that I need to play it. You and I, when we did Spaghetti Western or Platform, we knew what we needed to be able to complete the game. And so we had to go through seeds to find something specific that would meet our needs, and it's not necessarily that we want something that's going to make it cheese the game or make it easy or something like that. You're looking for certain things to ensure that you can do certain things in the game,
Exactly. I mean, yeah, perfectly said. And you're not the only one, because who doesn't remember? Because like a perfect example is with my Belt Mega Base series, I generated out a map and I got into the map because the preview wouldn't generate, wouldn't show exactly what I wanted to show. So I got in the map and I used a command to generate the map, like 2,000 chunks or 2,000 tiles in each direction or something, to make sure the resources that I needed were there, because if they're not, then, I could go in and 40 hours later realize my whole playthrough is ruined.
Exactly.
But then I unrevealed it and I can't for the life of me remember where any of this stuff was, but I know I'm fine because I know it's there somewhere. So it's like...
I will say, in Woob's defense, the fact that they're giving us this preview and they're spending so much time making sure that the preview works well for us, they understand that that's how a lot of players play. But from a game design standpoint, I also get that they want a pure experience, right? Minecraft developers probably feel the same way. They would prefer if people just started in a brand new world. That way you experience it differently, because if you go in with preconceived notions like, oh, I'm going to build a castle on this thing or whatever, it might change. And you might end up playing the game a different way than you would have if you had just saw everything fresh, So I get that I see both sides. And I'm glad that they are putting these sorts of features in for the more power players who need those options available, while also reiterating that this is their preferred method of playing the game.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like one thing here that is mentioned at the very last part, but you can see is, and this will fix like my issue. I had to go into the game and reveal out the map, is because currently the map preview doesn't show you the richness of stuff, and it was very important for my playthrough to have high richness, right? But now in this new one, you can see. You can actually, in the preview now, see the richness of patches, which is absolutely awesome. Like, that will solve a lot of these issues with having to actually go into the game and reveal stuff out.
Right. And now you won't have to play on a map that's already been pre-generated and then had the fog put back over. Now you're playing, you're starting off with a map that's like huge already. The whole thing's already been discovered, which means you're already lagging out your game a little bit more than it needed to be at the beginning.
Right, exactly. So then at the end here, we plan that almost every widget in this GUI and the other ones in the game will have tooltips briefly explaining what everything does, since, for example, not even us developers know what enemy-based richness actually does anymore.
That is true. It used to determine how many of the pink things you got, right?
Yeah, and another interesting thing just to mention is Bilka, again, dug into this in the Reddit post and has determined that currently it literally does nothing because of that. Because it used, my understanding is because it used to do the artifact drop amount, but since that's gone, and like he looked like into the code and stuff on like what all these factors are, and determined that it just literally is used. It literally does nothing now. So there's no wonder they don't know what it does, because it doesn't do anything.
Yep.
But it would be cool. It would be cool. Like, okay, well, I guess like an interesting note, because I didn't know this, is what he found was that it like theoretically would actually be like a flat addition to evolution, like that it would add like an amount to evolution. However, which I didn't know, but he looked further and found that like there's like a I forget what he called it, like an offset or like or something in the code that actually made it just like not work. So even though that's like what it would be doing if it worked, it doesn't even work. Like it just adds like a 0 value every time because of this one little part of code. So it literally, but what I'm getting at is it would be cool if they do like change it and fix it, if it does actually do something like maybe richness determines like the amount of biters that are like that spawn out from spawners or something.
Yep.
I think that would be kind of cool.
Well, hopefully they'll figure that out, that it does nothing, and they'll go fix it. So maybe next week we'll have something to report on that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then lastly, I'm just going to open this mock-up of all ores showing the richness, which is pretty awesome. This is like perfect. Oh, yeah. You can just look here. Really, really nice for sure. But there you go. I really enjoyed this one. Seeing all these GUIs and the map gen stuff is super nice. It looks like they're making some progress for sure.
Yep, everything's looking awesome.
All right, great. Well, then I think that's going to do it. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts below, and until next time, we will catch you later.